This season marks a new beginning. New heights will be reached. New records will be broken. A new champion will be crowned. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. You're watching the premier American open wheel series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
This is not your typical First Medical Equipment presented broadcast introduction, because this race is dedicated to all the grandmothers out there, but especially to one particular grandma, or rather Oma, to Aiden, Clara, and Lily. Thanks to the effort of her son-in-law, Mark Amick, the third round of this season's Lionheart IndyCar Series celebrates the life of Sherry Boggs with the running of the Oma's 200 at Kentucky. From the land of bourbon, bluegrass, and thoroughbreds, welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel and the Countdown to Green presented by the Sim Pit. GSRC will show you all the on-track action live as it happens, but first, as cyberspace flows into your place over these 15 streaming award-worthy minutes, we'll bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the simulated Dallara IR18 action that will immediately follow as we count down to green for the Oma's 200 at Kentucky. And here to do all of that is yours truly, Bill Soup Zahn, joined by former real-world IndyCar driver Richie Hearn. Sean Crackers Ambrose is calling a stock car race in Texas. As soon as that checkers up, he'll hop on iAirline software and magically join us. The Doctor of Pits Topology, Amjad Yaman, is the director, armed with cameras provided by the Ansel Adams of iRacing, GSRC's own Dougie Beard. Now, Bobby Mikas took home his first win in the series last season in Kentucky, leading just 6 laps before claiming the checkered flag in his Von Hansen's meat machine. Mikas advanced to the top step of the podium after starting 19th. Dan Guerin was your pole sitter at Kentucky for that race, and Dandy Dan leads this season with 2 consecutive poles so far. Can he make it 3 in a row? Well, that's a good bet, as Guerin holds the qualifying record at Kentucky at 23.983 seconds. Now, folks, before we bring in Richie to talk about the track, I want to remind you that everything during today's Countdown to Green comes courtesy of its sponsor, the Sim Pit. They're an entertainment channel dedicated to sim racing. It focuses on bringing you news, reviews, and information from around the world about sim racing hardware and software. It also focuses on what it takes to be a better sim racer with instructional videos and how-tos that will help your performance on the virtual track. Check it out at thesimpit.com. And now, speaking of virtual tracks, Richie, this is a track that you actually raced on in the real world.
Yeah, I have a few races under my belt here. It's a beautiful track here, obviously in Kentucky. 1.5 mile tri-oval located in Sparta, Kentucky, with 17-degree banking in turn 1 and 2, 14 degrees banking in 3 and 4. It was the largest excavation project in Kentucky history, displacing 7.2 million cubic yards of earth. The facility was constructed with 48,000 cubic yards of concrete, the equivalent of a 50-story building. In August 12, 2001, Buddy Lazier became the first back-to-back single series event winner at Kentucky with a 300-mile IndyCar Series race. I myself have a record set here. I hit the wall between 1 and 2 at 210 miles an hour head on, thanks to Gilles de Ferrin. And set a record for G's sustained, 142. So didn't do my feet any favor. In 2012 was the last time they did not host IndyCar event. But the best way to get an idea of what this place is really like, let's jump on board the IR18 and take a lap around Kentucky Speedway.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the Kentucky Speedway in the GSRC IR18 IndyCar. Without further ado, here we go. Coming down the front stretch here, getting it right down towards the bottom, swinging it up here to keep the momentum going, then dive it right down here towards the bottom here to turn one. Find that yellow line and kind of hunker it straight off of the corner, down the back stretch, into turn 3. Might have to break it out, lift it just a little bit to let the nose set, but then right back into the throttle. Coming through the corner, just letting it sweep up there. Then for the hot lap, you can actually cut right down here onto the apron and come back up. Now, as the run moves on, or just as guys are experimenting, you could see guys move all the way around this track. Kentucky is about 4 or 5 lanes wide, so there's a lot of room to play around. So up there in turn 1, you can see him in that higher groove. Here in turn 3 as well, getting right up here in that top seam. Maybe just trying to find some clean air, try and find a way to pass somebody. Either way, the track has the room, and these drivers will find it. Down the front stretch and across the line. And that is going to complete our track guide here around the Kentucky Speedway. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
You know, the drivers hope to do well in the OMAS 200 at Kentucky so they can improve in the point standings. Let's take a look at those right now. Now, this is the first Medical Equipment Driver Championship. Loud Pedal Motorsports has Brian Yazek and Andrew Havakech-Kinsella for Adrenaline Motorsports. They each have a win. They sandwich No Name Racing's Jason Galvin, who has a 2nd and a 6th so far. Surprising everyone inside the top 5 is another Loud Pedal guy. Brian, it's not easy being Greenlee. A 3rd last time out made Adrenaline Motorsports' Tony Schowen, the big mover, up 25 markers into 9th. Let's go ahead now and look at the HPP Simulation Team Championship. With the success of the aforementioned Bryans, Yazek and Greenlee, Loud Pedal Motorsports moves up to the top. Dan Guerin, George Anzaldo, and Ron Hacker struggled last time out for Synergy, 4th on the day at Phoenix, and now down 3 spots in a similar position on the chart. Skidmark Motorsports makes the top 5 thanks to the efforts of Brian Beard, Scott Johnson, and Bart Workman. And let's go now to the Butt Kicker Rookie of the Year standings. And speaking of Bart Workman, well, there he is at the top of this chart. 7th in the First Medical Equipment Driver Championship. That's the overall standings. Certainly making themselves heard is Loud Pedal Racing with yet another member, David Courtney, 2nd best rookie in the season, 12th overall. Another Skidmark driver, Brian Beard, sits 3rd. Finally, we'll look at the fun one, the Simulated Money standings, and this is courtesy of JC Accounting and Payroll. And remember, taxes are coming up, so if you haven't done that yet, get in contact with JC Accounting and Payroll. They can help you out. Jason Galvin and Brian Yazek, they sit at the top. Now, this is based on not only how well they're doing, but how much they've had any damage to the car, that type of thing, the earnings that they got. Sometimes the races have a bigger purse than others. You can see that James Krahula really has been doing well. He's in the plus of $268,000. Richie Hearn has to be looking at these saying, I wish it was this easy in the real world. Now, considered the premier fixed setup racing league for the Dallara IR18 on the iRacing service, the Lionheart IndyCar Series honors the memory of the late Dan Weldon, and Dan would surely appreciate the next segment as it's time for Professor Lugnut's setup corner. Now, the professor is not here right now, but he has left me notes, and apparently we're going to talk about, last week we talked about the Bernoulli principle, and I asked him, who the heck is Bernoulli? So this is what he gave me here to talk about, and it's Daniel Bernoulli. He was an 18th century Swiss mathematician and physicist. He's remembered most for his applications in mathematics to mechanics, especially fluid mechanics, and for his pioneering work in probability and statistics. So what does that mean? Well, his name is mostly commemorated with the Bernoulli principle, a particular example of conservation of energy, which describes the mathematics of the mechanism underlying the operation of 2 important technologies in the 20th century, such as carburetors and airplane wings, both very important to the history of motor racing. Eat your heart out, Race Spot and LSR TV. I don't think they're going to give you any information about Daniel Bernoulli. Interesting fact about Danny, he was the first person to take a human's blood pressure, doing so by sticking a pointed end, a glass tube that was pointed directly into their veins. This was the common practice among doctors for the next 170 years until in 1896. There was an Italian doctor that discovered a much less painful way to take blood pressure. Boy, we give you everything. We cover all the bases here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Now to cover the bases about the series details, something probably a little more appropriate for a broadcast. Let's go over to Richie Hearn to tell us what's in store today.
And these series details come to us thanks to the Sim Pit. The series details, it's Season 6 of the Lionheart Series, Round 3 of 24. We're driving the new iRacing Dallara IR18. The setups are adjusted fixed. And we got cash and prizes totaling in $6,402.
$6,402. Not bad for a sim racing series. Okay, we've taken care of most of the business. Practice is over, and now the job of qualifying comes into play. Richie, some tracks qualifying not so important because it's a draft fest. What about here at Kentucky? This kind of place, maybe passing might be kind of tough. You want to get that good qualifying spot?
Well, you always want to have that track position. This track is tough because not only is it very bumpy, but the entry is so wide that it kind of sucks you in, but the corners really tighten up. So depending on how the setup works, you're going to want to be in clean air to get that front downforce on the front tires all the time.
As we look at the first driver we have an eye on, that is James Grahula. Why don't we take a peek at the weather? It is nighttime here, so that's going to not make the track temperature very warm. And look at that. 75 degrees is the air, or 73 degrees, and 73 degrees is the track temperature as well. Humidity at 60%.
That's going to make for a really fast track. I drove a couple practice laps here, and getting that temperature down is going to really help the grip of these cars.
There will be pit stops here tonight. Is this the type of track with the track temperature of 73? Obviously, it's good for grip, but do you have to worry about cold tires at that degree?
I don't think so. I mean, coming out of the pits is always a little tricky. One thing about this track, though, is the pit entrance and especially the pit exit is very, very tricky. So pit stops will be interesting. Maybe not the pit stop itself, but how they come off that pit road will be important.
We have seen many a race lost and won with pit entry and pit exit. James Grahula tops the chart so far in qualifying at 24-1. 24-1 also for Matthew Mercer. 17 drivers have put in quick times. We talked about Dan Guerin being quick. He's yet to put in that qualifying time. He is our record holder. Riding on board with series organizer right now, George Anzaldo. Onboard camera. George coming across now, looking to put in that first time. Oh, he's already got one in. A nice time for George. Up in 6th. Now we're looking at the man who sits 3rd in the points, Jason Galvin. Hailing out of Bakersfield. P14th right now. Here's a series rookie, Stefan Larkamp out of Pennsylvania. The student. Right on board, looking over his left front tire. He's not signed up with the team. If anybody's looking for a driver, he's certainly be good. He's an independent driver right now. See if we can find a home for Stefan. Right now, he's looking to find a good qualifying time. Sitting well down in 40th. Richie, 40 cars. Pretty large field to have here in Kentucky. Gotta figure that as Richie's mic is left. He's still with us here. This is Mike.
I'm here.
There, now he's back.
There I am. Yeah, at 40 card field will be really tough, kind of like at Phoenix. But you can spread out going into these corners, but it's going to be a tough go if you're starting in the middle or the back.
I know you've never been in this situation, but if you were a back marker trying to get out of the way, is it, you think, going to be the top line, keep it high, let the guys go below you?
Sorry to disappoint you, but I've been a back marker many times. So, you know, you just it's really key just to kind of find that clean air. If everybody's running low, you run high. If they're running high, you run low. That's just getting some air on that front. That little front wing is going to be just even half a wing will make a big difference.
Looking at your current point leader, Brian Yazik. Again, he doesn't have a good qualifying time so far. Now he gets one in, he jumps up to P4. Adam Blocker is our temporary pole sitter right now. No, he's not. Let me correct. Wait a minute. It is Dandy Dan Guerin. Sorry. Okay, qualifying is done. Let's go ahead. They are about ready to go to the grid. And when it is time to go racing, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulations. Designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment, HPP hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit hppsimulation.com. And now let's go to the HPP starting grid. And it is indeed Dandy Dan Guerin sitting on the pole, putting in a 24.057. He's flanked by Andrew Kinsella, about 2/100ths of a second slower. Big Joe Hassard in the third spot. Row 2 is filled up by Brian Yazik. Row 3 has George Anzaldo and Michael Goodman. In the 7th and 8th position, it's Brandon Linkeman, flanked by Justin Weaver. Row 5 has Tony Schowen and Bob Mikas. Richie? We don't have, Richie's got to press his mic there.
There we go. Ron Hacker in the 11th spot, Adam Blocker in the 12th spot, Joe Flanagan and Woody Mahan in the 7th row, Jason Galvin, James Krahula, sorry about that. Row 9 is Pierre Daigle, Dustin Wardrow, and row 10 will be Ian Adams and Ken Hacker.
Ken Hacker in the 20th position. 21st in the blackjack spot, it's the rookie Stefan Larkamp inside of Chris Stouffer. Joe Branch and Jason Robarge fill up row 12. 25th position is Brian It's Not Easy Being Greenlee with Matthew Mercer outside of him. 27th is Michael Jishang. Samuel Ryman from GSRC's own broadcast booth made it into the race in 28th position. Row 15, Richie, I think there's going to be more after this one. Scott Bolster and Dylan McKenna. Who's in 31st?
31st is going to be Jack Bogan. David Cordy is the 32nd spot. Row 17 would be Isaiah Dupree and Vincent Bluthenel. Sorry, first time I've seen that name. Brian Beard, Scott Johnson, Bark Workman, and Racing Kangaroo Gray in the row 19, and Mitchell Moeller and Robert Bluen in row 20.
Happens to every new commentator. A couple more. Ed King, Tupweiler, Jesse Vincent, Rory Collins. 43 drivers. We have a full field here. Let's look at our onboard cameras. The first one that we have up is going to be the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow, in the SimPit onboard camera. Next after that, it's going to be Bob Mikas in the Van Hansen's Meat Machine. There's the onboard camera for that one. And then George Anzaldo, and of course, the UMA Memorial onboard camera. Now, he's here from Texas. How was the flight? Sean Ambrose, you with us?
It was quick. They busted out a Concorde for me and got me here, so we're good.
All right, buddy, you came in just in time. I did tell you, Richie did a fine job handling all those pre-race activities, but now we have a three-man booth today. And it's time to go racing. GSRC has all the business out of the way, so now we can get down to the fun stuff. And it is Dandy Dan Guerin sitting on the pole as expected. That is his third pole in 3 tries. Gather up the chickens, say, cover me on the cows, because the horses are out of the barn. And it is Dan Guerin leading the stampede down into the first corner here at Kentucky, where the horses love to run. Big Joe Hassard drops into second position. Actually, now falling back a little bit is Kinsella. Brian Yazik takes over third. Kinsella slots into fourth. George Anzaldo rounds out your top 5, Sean.
Super got off to a good start here. Pretty clean. Cars starting to kind of go line to stern. We do have a little bit of fighting here in the middle of the field. Three wide coming down the front stretch. Bobby Mike is in the middle of it.
They found out a little bit up front as well. Look at the whole field coming at you. My goodness, it is a scramble. Sean, you got to figure that early on, people are enjoying that nice fresh rubber, seeing how they can run all over the place right now, and they're showing it.
Yeah, they certainly are, Soup. Things still pretty crazy here. 3 laps in. It looks like a few guys still trying to really find their line, find their way. Brandon Limkeman, one of them, he had dropped a couple spots, but now he's starting to pick things up just a bit. Limkeman going to get past Justin Weaver. Looking for Tony Showen. Showen, one of those drivers, really, really tough to make a pass on. But Showen's going to stay up top, and here comes Limkeman down on the bottom.
That continues. Really, we cannot call the passing because it is happening all over the place. There is a pass for the lead, though, right now. Can we look at Guerin being challenged by Big Joe Hassard on the top side? Guerin's going to get credited with leading lap number 4. They work lap number 5. Hassard trying to make the top side work up in front. I think he'll have the momentum. Oh, he's gaining on him. It's not going to, I think it's going to go back to Guerin. Richie Hearn, you think running that low line, you think that's going to use up the tires a little bit more than staying up on the high side?
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's exactly what I was thinking there. Is like if I was Big Joe, I'd be squeezing him down, get him to use those tires up. And he got 3rd place back there, just kind of watching all this happen.
Yeah, I think Guerin is protecting the inside, but maybe at the cost of this rubber. Boy, they come across really close. We're going to stay up on the lead right now. But Sean, right behind him, it's Kinsella and Anzaldo 2x2.
Yeah, look at this. Little battle going on between these two. Anzaldo off to a great start this season, keeping it up front here, has another great qualifying effort. Boy, things have really, really turned around for Anzaldo here, start of this season. Kinsella kind of all over the track right now, searching, fishing for the fast line, that special line.
Well, based on the line that our leader is running, he seems to, I'm not sure if it's the fastest line, but it's maybe the line that keeps you in the position, and that is the low line. Guerin making Anzaldo do it high.
Yeah,
sorry, Big Joe Hassard do it on the top side.
Yeah, and here comes Big Joe Hassard. On board with Big Joe.
Boy, he's got a good run, but again, he gets up here, and then he just can't get the momentum to carry through.
I still haven't gotten adjusted to seeing Big Joe in those colors. Used to seeing that Arctic Cat green.
I know.
Dan sticks with the green, though.
Those two guys continue to work. It'll be interesting to see if what Big Joe is doing, if it's going to slow Guerin down later on in the run, because he's sure taking a lower line than the rest of the guys. Let's drop back to 6th position. This is Goodman and Yazik. Yazik in that fluorescent blue machine. He'll have a little momentum coming off of 4. Not going to get credit with being in front of Goodman. Now look at the run from Yazik. There he goes. When you got the HPP sponsor on your car, you got to finish the pass, and he does. Goodman falls back. Showen ducks underneath up into 7th. 12, working lap 12, and we are still, knock on my imitation wood, under green.
Soup, it's a shame. There's so many cars and so much going on. I don't know which battle to follow right now, but Woody Mahan and Dustin Wardlow are having a real tussle back here. This is for 17th place. Wardlow on the top side. We'll go on board with the Candyman now.
Yeah, because he's in one of our onboard cameras, racing in the SimPit onboard camera machine. He's going to try to get. There goes, as we're looking there, as Wardlow, that's Galvin he's looking at right there. Wardlow's stuck on the top. Boy, he gets a good drive off of 4. The problem is he's got nowhere to go with Micah's in front of him.
Yeah, that's not a help. That really kind of broke his momentum there. Micah's, of course, gets out of the way, but it doesn't help. Oh, trouble right there ahead for, who was that there in the middle? That's Ian Adams.
Boy, he got really loose, and everyone is gobbling him up. Woody Mahan jumps underneath him.
Well, Wardlow on the move, though. There he continues to keep it trucking, man. He gets by Bobby Mikas, and now working on trying to catch Jason Galvin. I'm sorry, Chris Stouffer will go on board with Bob Mikas here. In the Von Hansen's Meat Markets onboard camera. Controlled chaos driver.
Makes my mouth water just talking about it. He's currently in 16th position, about to lose one to Woody Mahan. Let's talk about our race analysis here, brought to you by Lock Precision. How far are we racing today? Well, 133 laps. We think the maximum fuel sin is 36, but they always lie to us. Let's add a couple more to that one, 38. Yep. What do you got, Sean?
I was going to say, you said they always lie to us, and I was going to say, they always said Andre the Giant was 525 pounds. I don't think so.
Oh, you watched
more like 450.
You watched a little HBO last night as well.
I did, yes. Yeah. It looks like, you know what? It looks like Ian Adams has recovered back to 18th with him. He's just able to kind of get by Krahula a little bit. Krahula doesn't seem to have the pace here early, Soup. But I know Krahula, I think he'll be here at the end when it matters. He'll have some kind of freaky strategy and try and pull one over on the field and find himself racing for a podium there at the end.
Richie, I know probably every race is different, but when you were doing real-world racing, did you enjoy long green flag runs, or did you look forward to the yellow flags breaking it up?
Yeah, it really comes down to how well your car's working. I mean, if you set your car up for that, you love it. But if you're struggling right now, you are begging for a yellow flag. You might be looking to throw something out of the car. Oh wait, that's NASCAR. Sorry. Watching these guys up front, I was going to say that Big Joe is watching. He faded from challenging for the lead. He's faded back to 5th position now. So I don't know if he used up his tires, but Dan Guerin's kind of pulled away here.
Yeah.
Oh, and it looks like trouble for Dylan McKenna. McKenna has big trouble on the backstretch.
Boy, and you know what? It really wasn't McKenna. I think Scott Bolster was trying to make a move on Matthew Mercer. Just kind of cut down.
Oh, yeah. You know what?
Sent him in the wall.
Yep. Bolster makes an evasive move. You're going to see it here on the replay. But Bolster makes an evasive move that unfortunately gets just a nip of Dylan McKenna's wing, his front wing. And we're going to see this better from above.
I don't know if it was so much evasive as it was just trying to make a move underneath him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
see how that...
He wasn't clear, Soup.
Yeah. We'll see how that works. As soon as I talk to Richie about the yellow flag, we get one. I need to talk to Richie about what happened to that $100 bill I lost in my house here somewhere. Maybe that'll show up too. All right. Well, 22 laps in, I gotta figure it's pit stops for everybody, unless maybe you're way in the back and you want to roll the dice and get up front and hope for another yellow quick. But so far, it looks like everybody's going to come in. So I'm going to gamble here for me. I see one car going around. Is he on the lead lap? It is. Oh, of course, it's James Krahula.
I would think you'd want to take tires for sure.
Yeah, I don't know how this works for James. I mean, the best case scenario is I guess he gets a yellow flag here in the next 10 laps, but by then, maybe he thinks he can hold on. We'll see how that plays out.
Do either of you recall what I was just talking about with James Krahula? Doesn't matter what you think or what anybody else thinks. He has his own strategy, folks. Always.
Well, you know, cautions breed cautions, so you never know.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's take this opportunity to talk about one of our sponsors, and that is Butt Kicker. As we're currently under yellow. Now, if you're a sim racer, Looking to add that missing driver-to-car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your session? Butt kicker products are the way to go. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force, butt kicker products move actual mass, producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. See, you know what? This is new. I'm going to break some news here on butt kicker. There also is, since Richie Hearn owns the record for the highest G-force crash here, there is a setting now that they're putting on the butt kicker thing. You turn it to Richie Hearn, and it'll jolt you right out of your chair. You can find all that information on thebuttkicker.com. Use the promo code, I got it right this time, Sean, Lion20 to get 20% off your order.
And Soup, the Ulma 200, a very, very special race this evening, and yeah, I don't know if anybody told you, but, you know, the whole family is actually gathered around in front of an 80-inch TV this evening watching this broadcast live.
Oh.
And pretty cool deal. You know, Mark Amick had, you know, decided he wanted to do this for his wife and for his daughter and for their Ulma. And like I said, the whole family's made a big event out of it tonight, and they're all hanging out watching us here and watching this great race. So guys, if you're listening, which we know many of these drivers do, put on a good show for them tonight.
And we have more to say about Ulma here on the next yellow flag, so you don't want to miss that. Lights are still on the pace car, working lap number 24. Now I noticed while I was reading my plug for butt kicker, I noticed that James Krahula has left us. Did he come in and take a pit stop? James has wanted a little attention. It's just, that's how he is. Lights are off the pace car. This is round number 3, season 6 of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. And we need it right now. Dan Guerin. Go ahead, Sean.
I just want to remind everybody real quick, we always have first-time viewers here. They start single file. This is a single file restart here tonight. If you didn't pick that up in the details, I'm telling you now, we've got a single file restart. So big field means a big line of cars, probably about a half a track from the front all the way to the back.
I'm telling you what makes this series so exciting to watch is the fixed setups. We've done a number of these, and when they're open setups, probably next yellow we'll talk to Richie about this one, but you've got to be tempted to put that car on the razor's edge, and even though it's fast, you're going to crash the dang thing, and it turns this into a yellow fest. These cars are stable, makes for good racing.
It really does. And, well, these are some of the best that open wheel racing on iRacing has to offer. Here we go, Sue.
All right, our first restart. Pace car pulls in. Dan Guerin leads them across the line. Going to be working lap number 26. Andrew Havakech, Kinsella right behind him. George Anzaldo having a good run and a great season so far in third. Big Joe Hassard, he was up front early. He's fallen back to fourth position.
I think George likes this car. He gets the jump on Big Joe. Gets off to a great restart. Now finds himself fighting here for getting up into first. He's going to follow Kinsella. Probably not a bad choice. Now he's going to drop to the bottom, get in behind Dandy Dan.
Guerin, Kinsella, looking again. Look at Guerin again, continue to cover the inside like wall-to-wall carpet. He will not let anybody get underneath him. That red car is George Anzaldo trying to look in there. Fourth position, Tony Shallen. Shallen with a good run. Anzaldo's going to fend him off. How about back in fifth? Hassard on the top side. Brandon Limpkeman up into fifth. Gets around Hassard. That fluorescent blue machine is Brian Yosik. He started fourth. He's back 3 positions. Would like to pick one up right now on the top side.
I'm really liking what Tony Schoen's doing. He started 9th, and now he's made his way up to 3rd. He's making moves here.
You know, Soup, another driver I've just kind of picked up, taking a look at, Brian Greenlee. Of course, his season also off to a great start. This one tonight, not been so kind to him. He's picked up a couple, but now he's side by side here. He's in the thick of it. Greenlee back here has to back off in 23rd. Gives up several spots there just in front of him. Michel DeJong and Ken Hacker and Stephen Larkamp in a huge battle. Larkamp gets away.
That racing going on deep in the field. There is racing everywhere. Looking at Jiang back to bolster. Bolster in 25th. Your top 5 remain the same. That is Garen Kinsella, the man that Richie was looking at. Tony Schowen in 3rd. George Anzaldo. And Brandon Limpkeman.
Hey, we're in Kentucky. Did we have any Brandon? I'm sorry. Did we? Forget it.
I think you've already had too much of it.
I was going to say, did we have any bourbon yet? We're in
I know
Kentucky.
where you're going. I had a reference to that in the beginning if you you were on the airplane.
Well, you know what I had on the airplane now, don't you?
I can imagine. Top 8 cars beginning to pull away a bit. They start with their own little train. Adam Blocker at the caboose in that one. 1.4 seconds. Then you got to go back to this next group. Jason Galvin, Chris Stouffer. Side by side with Michael Goodman underneath Hacker.
You know, Big Joe Hassert kind of working Brian Yazik over a bit, though. Yazik not ready to let him pass. Yazik says, no, you don't. Not right now. You shall not pass. And now that opens things up for Adam Blocker, who gets by Big Joe. I wonder if Joe's saving it here or if he's really struggling right now here at Kentucky tonight. A couple times it's not looked very Big Joe-esque, if you know what I mean there, Sue.
Don't want to jump you around, but there's been some action up front. One of them is Brandon Limpkeman, who's up into 4th, but the big news is we got a real fight for the lead here. It's Garen and Kinsella trying to get underneath. Kinsella had the lead for a while. He probably could have held his breath longer than he held the lead as he's fallen back now into 2nd, but he was there for a minute. Limpkeman in 3rd, up 4 spots and feeling good. Boy, if you were a fan, you'd not know where to look right now, as there is racing everywhere.
Yeah, it's tough to keep up with. Okay, you know what? George Anzaldo under threat, though. Here's Tony Schowen just behind them. Here comes Adam Blocker. Blocker able to get away from Big Joe Hassert. I don't know. Maybe this is going to become a 4-car battle. Here comes Big Joe into the picture. Things stacking up here at the front of the field. Try and make it 3 wide here. Blocker going to go all the way to the top. He fades just a bit. Oh, boy, George holding steady there on the inside.
The boys are putting on a good show for Uma. Oh, my goodness. Let's look at this for 5th position. I hate to jump you around so much, but I just got a feeling things are going to go around. This is the driver Richie was looking at, Tony Schowen. He just got under George Anzaldo, made it stick, put him up into 4th.
Those guys are battling pretty hard there for that 4th spot, and it's letting those 3 guys in front get away from them.
Yeah, absolutely. What's once an 8-car train has now turned into basically 3 cars and then the rest of them.
I mean, boom. They've knocked out half a stint already here. 18 laps, that quick. They are flying around this track tonight, Sue.
Last season, it was a pretty clean race. There were only 4 yellow flags.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can break that record here today.
On board here with the Candyman. He is fighting right now with Joe Flanagan just up in front of him. On board with the Sim Pit onboard camera, Raven Motorsports driver. Following though, not moving ahead, but he is starting to close. Flanagan now starting to look over his shoulder, and the pack behind Wardlow coming along. Joe Branch, Woody Mahan. There we go. Wardlow starting to pick him up now. Sue, that Flanagan car makes me yearn for maybe a good crawfish boil or maybe for some lobsters. It's the old Bay machine.
Okay.
Let's go into our hard charger there. We got Chris Stouffer, started 22nd, worked his way all the way up to 9th. So see if he can hold that track position and stay right there in the top 10.
That's good for Stouffer. Nice run from him. Considering how hard passing is right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a quick look at Stouffer's pit stop time and see if he did that. Well, it seems to be about what everybody else did, so it's not like he short-filled or anything. Looking at this battle for 5th position. And Zaldo, Yazik, Big Joe Hazard, Adam Blocker. And then our hard charger, Chris Stouffer, watching the whole thing. In fact, you can see just at the bottom of your screen, coming right in, that white car on the low side, that is Stouffer. Gosh darn it, he's going to try to get one more if he can on Adam Blocker. And Galvin joining in.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Well, that's the first time I think we've really talked about him seriously. He's lurking, though. Galvin now into the top 10. Looking for more. Maybe Stouffer brings him along here, gives him a shot to fight with these guys.
Once again, these guys battling for 5th. Let's let those 4 guys get away. Stouffer's riding hard here to get right through this group.
With about 10 laps on this stint, I don't think Guerin is going to get to lap traffic before the next pit stop. But then after that, if we can stay green for a while, then we'll have to start dealing with some lap traffic. And that's where things get really interesting. We still have 40 cars out here racing.
Yeah, indeed.
Drivers who are out, looks like Ian Adams and Dylan McKenna. We saw what happened to McKenna. Not sure what happened to Adams.
And Richie, would you say with the gaps that our top 4 have right now, I mean, the clean air really even maximizing their effort, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's letting you pick the line you want to run. You're able to take care of your tires. So they're just cruising right now. These other guys behind them are really using their stuff up.
Yeah, it almost looks like Yazik has kind of pulled himself into that category now as well, as he's gotten the break on Ansaldo. Ansaldo having big trouble coming out of turn 4, guys. Whoa, Big Joe Hazard able to get around. Here comes Adam Blocker. Oh, man, that was a really close moment there for George.
Look at Blocker is really loose. They have, I don't think we need a replay on this one, but because I think we're going to see something live here in a minute. These guys have really been a lot of horseplay back here for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yeah, and when you get up close to the cars, I mean, you can hear that rubber just chunking off the tires every time they're fighting there down on that bottom groove.
I just saw Adam Blocker get into the back of Ansaldo the last lap, and what's happening is they're getting runs, but they just can't finish it. It's got to be frustrating.
Yeah. Well, Blocker fighting so hard here to get around Stouffer. Not happening. Now Stouffer looks to maybe go to the bottom here and get under Ansaldo. Yeah, but Ansaldo's probably going to win that drag race again. He does.
It's so hard to make that pass down there on the bottom like that because you just can't get up back on the gas like you want to.
Looking at Christopher in 8th.
Soup, fuel getting light, buddy. Fuel getting light. I think the pit window is going to open here pretty quickly.
Looking up on board with Bob Mikas, he's got right below him Woody Mahan.
And that Von Hansen's meat mark on board camera. Bob got it running. Good fight here going on with Woody Mahan.
And here comes Flanagan, but there's just nowhere for him to put that Old Bay car.
Oh! Bobby's in the wall. The yellow's out.
And there it is.
Soup, no contact.
Yep.
I think that was his car in a bad spot, wrong time. Dirty air, and the rear end comes out from under him.
I don't know. I think Woody Mahan may have drifted up. He got really close to him in that. What color is that? Orange? Green?
You know what, Soup? No, it's orange. And Soup, I take back everything I said because you're going to see it on the replay here. It certainly looks like contact was made. And, boy, that just throws Bob Mikas right up into the wall. On board with Joe Flanagan here. But Soup, you know, Woody's car started to drift up, and poor Bob just happened to be there, and that's going to be a race. That'll probably be a deal breaker for him as he's already gotten out of the car.
Richie, in real world racing, it's got to be just hold your breath when your car starts to move up, and you know there's no room up above you. And I guess you just kind of keep it going straight.
Yeah, I mean, you just get in the corner, you start washing up. Hopefully you hold steady, but you know, you don't want to lift either, so it's just unfortunate for him.
Couldn't have come at a better time for all these guys, including drivers at the back who are on the lead lap, like Michael Gray, the Racing Kangaroo, and Robert Blue and Jack Bogan. They were really close to going a lap down.
Yeah, that saved a lot of people.
35 lap stint.
You know, it saved, more importantly, though, who did it save? It saved our leaders, Soup. They don't have to meddle their way through that traffic now. Perfect opportunity for them. Everybody hits their stalls. Boy, and good fight there. Who's that? Got out in 4th. Tony Schowen.
Yep.
Schowen picked up several spots there.
What we'll do right now is go to a real short break. Don't go far. We'll be back here on the Global Sim Racing Channel.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Welcome back to GSRC Round 3 coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series, the almost 200 in Kentucky. This race is a special tribute to the life and memory of Sherry Boggs, also known as Oma, to her grandchildren. And Sherry was the mother-in-law to league member Mark Almec. She's born in 1941 in Louisville, Kentucky. Lived in Hackettstown, New Jersey for 48 years. Soup. I actually know where Hackettstown is at. And she was accomplished for certain. A graduate of Wittenberg University with a master's degree from East Stroudsburg State in Pennsylvania. She was a teacher that also spent many years volunteering, volunteering her time to help others, especially children, which she just absolutely loved. She loved tennis, kayaking, hiking, yoga, walking. Very, very active woman. She was known as the old lady walking through Hackettstown. Soup. It was on those walks that she made new friends, and however, her best friend was her daughter Kim. And sadly, Sherry passed last June after a 5-year battle with cancer, and she was 75. Had a wonderful, long, full life, and was loved by many. GSRC is pleased to be part of this tribute for her tonight. Soup.
Sounds like she did have quite I wish I did all those things, hiking and kayaking and yoga. All right. With that said, we are back to green. And it's Dan Guerin was first out of the pits. He's first into corner number 1. Andrew Kinsella, Tony Schowen, Brandon Limkeman, and Brian Yazik make your top 5. The back half of your top 10. Well, that's Big Joe Hassard. And then it gets a little messy. Chris Stouffer, George Anzolo on the top side. Adam Blocker in that blue car. Jason Galvin. And up front, Kinsella, try as he might. Has Guerin given up? I think he's been wire to wire so far.
Boy, look at this. Schowen trying to stick his nose in there.
Yeah, I got to correct myself. James Grahula led some laps under yellow. Again, just to be annoying. Now up on the top side comes Havakech Kinsella. Try to get some run out of 2.
Get Yazik back there going to work in that blue car at HPP Simulations IR18.
I think if they're going to get Guerin, they're going to have to try it. It's going to have to take 2 men to do it. Kinsella's going to have to go high, and Schowen's going to have to go low. He can't block both of them. Guerin has found the line. This is all learning for these guys, and Guerin realizes this is where I need to be on the final lap. Just put it out front. I'll hold my line.
Soup, we got a battle between former teammates for 9th, Galvin and Zaldo, right next to each other. And Zaldo, with a little bit of momentum on the top side, is going to get by. You remember those two from AGR Motorsports? No longer. Galvin now part of the infamous, what is that, No Name Motorsports?
Yeah, for a team that calls itself No Name, they sure have some big names racing for it.
They certainly do.
Hey, Sean, I think we're going to talk about our featured driver today, somebody that you just spent almost 250 miles with, and that would be Samuel Ryman.
Ah, yes, my booth mate, Sam Ryman. Sam, fairly new here to the Indy Series. Now, he did run the Retro Series last season. He's got some starts under his belt, 5. No pole positions yet, no career wins yet, no top 5s yet, but folks, they're coming. He's got 2 top 10s this season, and you know what? Itching for more. And Sam didn't get a whole lot of time to prepare immediately before the race, but trust me when I tell you, he practiced last night and the night before. He's ready to go. Sam looking to be somewhere up in the top 10 before this race is over. He's going to have to get busy. Lots of work left to do.
Sam, with the story that I loved, he locked himself out on his 2nd-story balcony, didn't know how to get out, so he just decided to jump. Which worked. He got down, but unfortunately broke his ankle. But it did get him off the balcony. Currently racing well back. Go ahead, Sean.
Well, you know what? Ron Hacker just made a big move to get around George Anzaldo And Zaldo seems to have really, really fallen off pace. I don't know what the problem is, other than he just seems to be getting ganged up on everybody as they come by. It was Weaver that just got by him. I mixing up my my colors, or not my colors, but too many familiar ones. There's a battle for the lead up front, though. Karen Kinsella going back at it.
For what it is worth, I just getting tired of looking at this one. Here comes the run from from Kinsella. And Garen takes his traditional line down low. You talk about Anzaldo. I got to think it's age. He's just getting tired. He's an old guy.
Careful.
Yeah. Richie, what goes first? I know your career probably ended before you were still in your prime, but what starts to go first on a driver?
Oh, man, that's a heck of a question to ask him, Soup.
Yeah, bravery. Like right now, I watch the real races and I look at it and go, there's no way I would do that now. 20 years ago, no problem.
You know what? And there is so much truth to that. You know, the main reason my father got out of racing, Soup, and he always said it, he always looked to his left at me and my brother and said, those two guys right there. Yep. Every time I hear that a young race car driver is announcing the newborn coming, you just get that feeling, man, that they may never be the same again.
Showing now.
Yeah.
You know, Kinsella has finally taken enough stabs at it.
He's taking a nap.
He's given up the ghost. He's surrendered the Casper. He's going to say, Tony Showen, you go ahead, take a shot. See what you can do with Dandy Dan Guerin.
Yeah, Tony just kind of sat back there and watched this battle and made his move. The other guy that's moving up is that Christopher, really started in the mid-pack, and he's all the way up to 6th place now as well.
Yeah, and he's got more in front of him. Here he goes underneath Brian Yazek. We've been documenting now. Listen, this time he's on the low side. He's on the Guerin line. Doesn't seem to make that work as well as Dan does. If I didn't know better, I'd say it's different setups on the car, but I know better.
And Yazek got a little squirrely up there.
Yeah.
Stouffer had to back out of it. Now Stouffer's being overtaken here, or at least trying to, by Adam Blocker.
Boy, lost all his momentum.
You know, one of the things I really love about this new IR18 is the removal of those hitty Kardashians. Man, just gives this car such a much better look.
Open wheel, baby.
Yep.
Open cockpit.
Yes.
I hear you.
Halo or windscreen, Richie?
None.
Oh, okay.
There's old school.
If I want a windscreen, I'll run prototypes.
There you go.
Let's drop back to 10th position. Michael Goodman, Ron Hacker, Justin Weaver. Sean, I gotta get this remembered between the Hacker guys. It's father and son, if I remember right, but I don't remember which one is which.
Oh, sorry, Soup Kinsella. A little bit of contact with Brandon Lipkeman on track. Ooh, that could have been an ender for both of them. I think we might have a replay of it. Our director says he's going to go to it here, maybe.
Yeah.
But boy, that was awful close.
Kinsella had a run, and Lipkeman just kind of drifted up in front of him, put an end to the run. You'll see it right here. Kinsella in the gray car, Lipkeman out in front.
It could have ended in tears.
Talk about the Kardashians being gone. That was that'd be a flat tire for Lipkeman there if iRacing ever got that working.
Yeah.
I think Kinsella might got a little bit of the wing with the back tire.
Hashtag soon, Soup.
I don't need any more reasons to have my race ended. That's my thought. I can end it quickly, all by myself right now.
Okay, so let's drop back to battle for 15th. Pierre Degla fighting Joe Branch, and Degla is going to pull that off. the no-name racing driver picks up another positive position. He's now in the top 15. Heavy lifting for Pierre here this week. He started 17th and is just now starting to kind of gain a little momentum here.
We ride on board with the Candyman. All right, we're going to go back to 28th position, but I have trouble doing this. This is against my religion to do this. Hard charger so far right now is Rory Collins, up 15 positions, but he didn't put in a qualifying time, so that really shouldn't count as a hard charger. It's called, you get the Sandbagger Award. But anyway, nice job, Rory. Surprised that any of these drivers still talk to me.
Well,
but right ahead, let's come into 25th position. Bart Workman is going the wrong direction. Woody Mahan around the top of him, as was Isaiah Dupree. Mercer back there, James Krahula.
oh, Blocker trying to make a move on Yazik here for position. This is for 5th. Blocker started to get a run on him, caught him, and then got under him. Boy, Yazik just all over the wheel right there. Car drifting in and out.
Blocker in the blue car, Yazik in the blue car. And the blue car takes the lead. Nice job from Yazik.
Blue car passes blue car. Hashtag blue car. Well, let's get that trending.
So Yazik up to 5th, Blocker sitting in 6th. Yazik, of course, coming off the win at Phoenix.
He's still making social media posts about it.
Kinsella racing in 3rd, coming off the season opener win at Homestead.
Soup, crazy battle for 23rd right now. Dupree, Stephen Larkamp, Bart Workman. Here comes Workman on the inside. Workman trying to bring along James Krahula. Remember him? Yeah, he's still in this race. The very back of that, Matthew Mercer also trying to come through. There's several drivers we haven't said a whole lot about here, but they are still fighting hard. Workman trying to get this position away here from Dupree. Dupree doesn't want any of it.
Richie, you do a lot of racing in the major series that offers the fast repair, the free car. Be honest with me, does that change your racing style knowing that you have a mulligan in your pocket there?
Yes and no. I mean, I enjoy it because, sometimes random stuff happens. And you spend 30 hours practicing for a race, you don't want something stupid to take you out. Usually if you have to take the fast repair, you're out of the race anyways. At least you can get back out there and get some points, so I do enjoy it.
Richie used that fast repair to his benefit at the last GSRC coverage of the Pacific Majors broadcast. Was actually on his lid, was able to take a tow, get that fast repair. Oh, excuse me, Mike Willett, spare car. Hope Mike's not watching. One of the best series organizers around.
I hope Mike's taking a nap or getting some sleep or something, really.
Boy, we are blessed here on GSRC to have some great series organizers to work with. Mike Willett, and how about the guys here at Lionheart? Jeez, the information they give us is it's sometimes more than we can actually handle.
If George Gonzalo and Mike Willett ever get together and do something together, we're in real trouble. So.
Let us not introduce them.
Yes. Speaking of George Gonzalo, he's trying to recover here from, I guess, a problem he had a while ago, but he's still in 15th. Still in this thing. Everybody, though, right now, Soup hoping for a caution, or we're about to see some green flag pit stops. And it's good. Boy, there's only 41 laps to go when we come across the line. Boy, they could just squeeze a little more fuel out of these cars.
Richie, kind of feels like everybody's kind of getting in a rhythm right now, settling down a bit. I noticed like the top 10, they're all pretty well spaced out.
Yeah, they've all kind of settled in and probably just waiting for that final stop. You know, we'll see if somebody can save enough fuel to make it just one more stop. So hope we see some green flag stops. That'll be exciting.
Richie, I think we're getting it, and we're going to get it any time now.
We are right there.
Yeah.
What did they say? I can't remember. They said 36, and I said let's
okay.
add 2 more. 38.
Here comes somebody. That's Ed Tutwiler's in.
Ed King Tutwiler coming in. He was racing in 35th spot.
Ed's son Sam, a pretty hot little kart racer, man. Got a good up and coming career. He's a young guy, but he's out there doing it.
Nice paint scheme on that. Some of the old Menards on there. The Conseco. Look at those colors. STP on the back. Makes me want to have a Zima.
Richie, did the Menard family ever throw any money at you?
I did a race for them once to qualify on pole at Chicago.
Oh, there you go. All right.
And our leader coming in. Here they come on lap 38.
Degla and Robar's winning ahead of them, and here we go, Soup. Garen is in.
Oh, they're all coming. I don't see anybody staying out. Did Bluthenthal maybe stay out one more? Schowen is going to stay out a little longer. Schowen gets credit with leading a lap.
Boy, you better feel really good about your fuel numbers if you're pushing this thing.
And Garen missed his box. He had to back up, so he's going to lose some time.
Oh, boy.
You know what? I hate to say it, but there are some drivers that just are notorious for shooting themselves in the foot, and he's one of them. Sean, we are at the point though with 36 to go.
Yeah.
We're good to go.
You can make it to the end. I mean, we've got drivers pulling in right now. Got 40 laps out of their machines.
I think Yazik got clipped and he spun out. He got spun around in the pit lane.
Oh, he did. Oh, Richie, you were all over that. Indeed, he did. We've got it on the replay, folks. I don't think
you know what? He didn't get clipped, though. He made a mistake.
I think so. He spun a tire or something.
He had a car alongside him. The car alongside of him was Vincent Bluthenthal. Maybe, Sean, I got a hunch maybe he was late getting to his pit box because Bluthenthal was there and he had to turn it sharper than he thought.
Well, I don't know, but that's going to cost him heavily. That was a lot of time lost there for Yazik.
So here's what's up now. Krahula is out in front. Let me make sure Krahula has made his stop. He's making it now. He went 42 laps.
42 laps for James Krahula.
Now it looks like Garen is still going to be okay, even with this little backup. Let's see if he's. Nope, I'm showing him in second. Yeah, he's going to be our leader still.
Yeah, he's still leading this race. Krahula is stuck in the box. He's rolling now, but it's not going to be enough. Garen already through the turn of 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah.
Down the backstretch.
Garen, Schowen. Kinsella comes out in third. Limpkeman right behind him. A big gap back to Chris Stouffer. Blocker about 10 car lengths back. A huge gap to Big Joe Hazard in seventh. Jason Galvin right behind him in eighth. Another couple seconds back to Michael Goodman. Rounding out your top 10, Pierre Degla. And after that spin, Brian Yazik is relegated back to 16th position, battling with Scott Bolster.
The question I'm going to have is Dan Garen, does he have enough fuel to make it to the end? Because he came in a lap earlier than the guys right behind him.
Yeah, Richie, he's going to be really, really close, man. It's going to be he's either going to make it or he's not. I don't think he's going to come in.
Sean, I'm going to write that one down. He's either going to make it or he's not.
Yeah. Captain Obvious strikes again.
The other option would be to, I'm not sure if there are anymore. What is interesting, he went 38 laps, but that was with some yellow flags to start the stint.
Yep. And, you know, we didn't even bring that up, and that's maybe the only reason that some drivers were able to get to 40 laps. So,
he's working on as a battle for the lead. He might be saving a little bit. This might be a case where I have to go fast enough to keep the lead, but slow enough to finish. He is working lap number 8 of this stint. Now, those are all in fact. Here comes the run. Good night, nurse. That's not right. That is a man who says, I think I want to sit back here, maybe get behind you and save a little bit. As I say that, he's going to fight back for the lead.
Yeah, either he knows something we don't, or I would just sit back there and kind of just save some fuel.
My point is there's 28 to go, and he's already gone 8.5 under. He's got to go 37 laps under green. That's going to be close.
Here comes Kinsella.
Yeah.
Soup,
Now,
my night is complete. I've been called out by hashtag Do You Mind Jake Sperry for my comment. He's either going to make it or he's not. So
I'm smiling ear to ear.
You know what? They've got to fight through traffic now. This is the one thing they haven't had to do all night. They've got traffic in front of them, and it's fast traffic. There's Tony Shaw and Dave Cordy. Oh, yeah. Where's Dan going to go? He can't go anywhere. Oh, no.
Gotta wait. Up on the top side, that is David Cordy. Guerin now going underneath Tony Shaw. Here comes a run, and a big run from Catch Kinsella. He's got the run. He just doesn't have any pavement. Tries it high. He's got one driver. Now he gets a good run off and a good tow. Probably not going to get the second one. Let's follow up on the point that Richie Hearn just made. Dan Guerin is out there a lap longer than Tony Shawan, who is out there a lap longer than Andrew Kinsella. Kinsella went 2 laps farther than these guys. Heard contact somewhere, but I don't see it.
You know, I thought I did too, Soup, and maybe it was phantom noise. I don't know, because I don't find anything either.
It was loud.
Big Joe, Jason Galvin fighting for 7th. Galvin's doing a good job here, staying in the top 10.
Kinsella to the front. He won at Homestead. He'd like to get another one here tonight as he moves to the front of Tony Shawan.
Well, not fighting for Rookie of the Year anymore. Kinsella fighting for a championship.
Well, Dan, since he's led most of the race, he's either saving fuel. He's probably wondering what's going on right now. I was the leader.
Boy, and Garrett got really loose, putting it up in the wall. He's got to go 3 miles farther than Kinsella and 1.5 miles farther than Shawan. Jason Robarge just scrapes it off the wall. It happened about 15 seconds ago. We haven't looked at it much in that beautiful rainbow machine. Take a look at this one. This one was close. It would have been turn 2. Here we go. Coming up, should be right here. Whoop. There we go, right here. Oh.
Yeah, close moment.
Get yourself a Kentucky stripe.
Soup, we got about 19 laps to go, buddy. Let's.
What time is it?
Man, it's time to boogie. Let's drop on down that disco ball. Everybody get down on the floor. All skate, all skate. Let's get this party going, buddy.
Hope Richie Hearn is taking notes on that. That's required.
I'd like to bring up our battle for 3rd and 4th. We got Brandon Linkerman kind of stalking Dan Guerin there. Chris Stouffer's hanging in there in 5th place as well.
You know, Richie, I'm glad you brought that up because Lemkeman has had a strong race all night. That Synergy IR18 has been fast.
Got to go up front because they've gotten into a plethora of traffic. Mitchell Moeller first up. GSRC Samuel Ryman in the mix. The light blue car is Rory Collins. Coming up on these three guys, they fight for position. That's 28th spot that those three are fighting for. They try to get out of the way. Stand to the stop side is Ryman. Kinsella gets underneath, but now a great run down below. Gowan almost gets into the back of Kinsella. They're not done, boys. There's still more to go by. Dan Guerin trying to make hay while the sun shines right now back in third. Kinsella drops underneath the lap car of Moeller. Look at the drive that Moeller gets in that fluorescent wheeled machine. Making Kinsella work for it. Go, Richie.
That move by Andrew is called showing dominance over the guy behind you.
Showen with a run now. They have one more lapped car to go around. It's the light blue machine of Rory Collins. Kinsella opens up a bit of a lead. Sean, look how tough passing is, even for guys that are in 28th position.
I know. It's been awful tough here tonight at Kentucky. I think it says a lot, though, about this new package we're working with, and honestly, the guy's still trying to figure it out just a bit here, Soup.
Boy, Kinsella did not want to lose any momentum on the back of Collins. Now look at P2. There's nowhere for the car on top to go. He tries to come down. That is not going to work. He loops it. Nobody collects him. That's Tony Showen into the wall.
Yeah, that was not a good move there.
Yeah, that one was, he needed some turn signals.
He just wasn't clear. I mean, plain and simple.
You know, Guerin was doing what he should be, is just, just basically blocking him out.
Guerin had him in checkmate, had him pinned, and all he did, Dan, kept the car going straight.
Oh, no, and I'm seeing George and Zalo somehow got involved in that, too. Watching the replay here.
How did George get involved in that one? But
I'm trying to figure that out now, actually.
Still in replay.
I think it was in the checkup suit.
We'll watch it here. We found it. Oh, you would end.
Yeah. He was sliding down the track, and obviously George nowhere to go there. He guessed wrong.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That was so far after. He waited and he waited. I'm talking about Tony Showen. He waited, and then he thought he was clear. He did a donut right in front of Tony Showen. My goodness.
That's a tough end of the night for George. What a great evening he was having. That's all right. He'll come back bigger, better, stronger next time.
Saw Paul Tracy do that move once on a road course.
Once?
Yeah. Kind of set you up for that one.
Getting the impression Richie might have seen Paul a few more times than you did there, Soup.
Just being nice to Paul.
Paul's a good guy.
He was a confident race driver. Richie, I think Paul Tracy got better as he got older than when he was young. He was a handful.
He's running in the Trans Am series this year.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 12 to go. We were talking there, we were looking at the replay. Nobody came in for stops in the top 9. That goes all the way back to Robarge. So let me run this down for you. Kinsella, Guerin, they've been up front the whole time. 1, 2. Lemkeman, Stouffer, and Blocker. We've seen them. Goodman, Hacker, Weaver, and then Jason Robarge. We saw him get in the wall, but he keeps that rainbow machine out there in 9th. Those guys are all on old tires. Then we get back to 10th position. Big Joe Hassard, Jason Galvin, Now, Sean, Hazard and Galvin, we've seen racing up front, or near the front at least. Dagla, Wardlow, Yazik, Bolster, all on fresh rubber.
I don't think the tires are going to make much difference with this type of traffic. It's just going to be a battle with those, basically those top 5 guys.
Now, what's interesting, they are on lap 11. They have Collins between Garrett. Now, if they go one more lap around, Collins will get the wave around, I think, because they will sort out all the lapped cars. I'm not sure if they sort them around or if they push them back. I'm not sure how that works, but Collins will get moved out of the way. Right now, he's a little bit of a cushion for Kinsella. That happens if they go green at lap 10. We are real close. I'm not sure if it's after lap 10, right out of lap 10, but we'll find out.
Well, I'll tell you what, the OMA 200 here at Kentucky Speedway has been a fun one tonight. The lights are off on the pace car. Soup, we're going to have 9 laps to go when they come across the stripe.
We have to go to break. We'll be back in a few. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel. We are having video difficulties. We're going to do this old style. When I was a little boy listening to the Indy 500 on my radio with Bud Collins.
Bud Collins?
I pulled that one out. I was a little boy. I believe that's Richie might know that better than me. We're going to go one more lap, though. This is good news for our director.
Bud Collins, certainly old enough to have called it, but I didn't know he did Indy racing. So
Google me, fans. The good news for our director is right now is we're going to go one more lap. Somebody tell us who the old radio announcer was back in the mid 60s, before ABC TV would show the broadcast live. Believe it or not, Sean, I believe it was Richie will know this as well. 1986, I believe, the first time that the Indy 500 was shown live. Believe it or not.
Yeah, believe it or not, I remember watching it.
Stars in his eyes.
Yeah.
Thinking about a future in IndyCar racing.
Our family had an Indy 500 pool every year since I was a little boy. One year was when Richie's rookie year. My mom pulled out of the hat. I remember this like it's yesterday. Richie Hearn's name and said, "Who the heck is Richie Hearn?" Finished third in his rookie season at Indy. Won my mom $111.
And then she knew.
She knew. You were from then on my mom's favorite race car driver. Okay, boys and girls, we're about to go green. We have video too. Our director is awful good.
Yeah.
Here we go. Look at that. That is Andrew Kinsella. He has 8 laps to go, working lap number 126. He's being chased by Dan Guerin. Collins did get moved back to the field. Look at the dive down low from Brandon Limpkeman. Hello.
Yeah, it's getting pretty dicey out here, guys.
Remember, there is no green-white checker here, and they will finish under yellow. We want to get to the point of no return. That would be about lap number 5, about 3 to go. Here comes Guerin. He's about a car length back. He pulls alongside of Yazik to the outside. Yazik taking that low line that Guerin has been racing the entire race. Guerin forced to go somewhere that he doesn't like to. They come across. Who's going to lead this lap? Give it to Kinsella. Guerin not giving up yet. He has to now.
My word, Jason Galvin just picks up 2 spots. He's up to 7th, getting cleared. Big Joe Hassard. He just got past Big Joe and Ron Hacker. Galvin along the outside. Is that Michael Goodman? It is Goodman.
Remember,
Goodman in the middle.
Galvin on the fresh rubber. The guys up front are on old tires.
Here comes Jason Galvin.
5 to go. Limpkeman in 3rd. Stouffer in 4th. Blocker in 5th. Galvin gets another one. He might be running out of time, but he moves up into 6th position. He's going to get 5th position on Blocker.
4th. There he goes. Galvin just running with the devil, baby.
All the while, Kinsella beginning to pull away from Dandy Dan Guerin. 4 laps to go as they come out of corner number 2. Guerin falling off the pace. Limpkeman in 3rd. Here comes the man from Bakersfield down low.
Look at him go.
Up into 3rd. He's got half a second to get to Dandy Gann. And another half second to get to Kinsella. 3 to go. Guerin has nothing for Havacatch, but here comes the blue machine. Jason Guerin passes. I'm sorry. That's Jason Galvin passes Guerin. Guerin gets up into Joe Hassard. Galvin up into 2nd. 2 to go. 3 miles, 7/10 of a second is all Andrew Kinsella has to negotiate.
Yeah, here comes Jason Galvin, though he's still on his way.
It's half a second.
Oh, boy.
Kinsella sees them coming. The objects in your mirror might appear bigger than they are. I don't think so.
Hey, hands in the wall.
We stay under green. We are on the last lap. Kinsella out of 2. He's got about 10 car lengths on Galvin. 8 car lengths on Galvin.
Carnage
6
on the
car
backstretch.
lengths. 4. It's Mahan in the back. We're going to finish under green. Andrew Havacatch Kinsella wins the UMA.
Wow.
From Kentucky.
Ah.
I sure called that wrong.
Woohoo. And there was just mayhem all over the track, Soup, on the backstretch, coming out of turn 2, going into turn 1 on that final lap. They were all over the place.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Degla getting walled there on the last lap. It was just too much carnage to call, Soup. It was just, man, they were all over the place.
An octopus putting on his socks.
Yeah.
There, we're looking at as much as we can see. That felt like old school NASCAR there, racing back to the yellow flag, or in this case, the checkered flag.
Yeah.
Well, he won the season opener, and he wins round 3. Andrew Kinsella, the winner tonight. Let's see if I can get the title of the race to put a tag on this. The winner of the Lionheart IndyCar Series, UMA 200 from Kentucky. We're going to take this opportunity to take a break. Don't go far. We'll come back to read the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the UMA 200 from Kentucky. And remember that this part of the program is brought to you by a special sponsor that I will tell you about right now as soon as I find it in my script that is just cluttered with sponsorship. Hey, you know I know who it's brought to you by. It's brought to you by right there, Plasma Tracks. If you're struggling to find something for the person who has everything, do I have the website for you? Plasma-tracks.com not only produces original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophies, home decor, and motorsports fabrications are also available. I'm telling you right now, I could try to describe it in words, but it would not do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way to fully appreciate what they do there is to go to that website and take a look for yourself. But I'm warning you, one visit and you're going to find yourself trying to argue with your spouse about why you need some plasma track wall art hanging in your home. I think once she saw it, she would have to agree with you. So you need to go there together, I think. You know what? And where are you going to go? You're going to go to plasma-tracks.com and use this promo code. It is LRS 2018. You get 25% off your order. Basically, it's buy 4, get 1 free. And now, let's bring you 100% of the HPP starting grid of the finishing order of the UMA 200. And it is Andrew Kinsella, one at Homestead. He gets the win here today ahead of Jason Galvin, who was on fresh rubber, made a charge. I think if he had maybe another mile and a half, he might have got the win. Big Joe Hassard comes home in third, running at your top 5, Brian Yazik, and the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow. The back half of your top 10, Brandon Lincoln, Scott Bolster, Ron Hacker, Joe Flanagan, a nice run from him, 13th to 9th, and Matthew Mercer. Sean, before I throw it over to you, I got to really point out the run that Scott Bolster had. We didn't give him much credit. 29th to 7th. Wow.
Yeah, really good run for him tonight. Adam Blocker going to finish 11th, and man, he was fighting all night. The Carolina driver, what a great run. 12th for Michael Goodman. He'll take that, but I'm sure there's a little disappointment there for him. Stephen Larkamp with a 13th place run. Joe Branch gets 14th. Bart Workman started 22 spots back. So he finishes 15th tonight. That's a great run for the Great Plains driver. Jason Robarge will finish 16th, 17th. Ed King Duttweiler, 18th. Vincent Blumenthal, 19th. You know what? Let me shout out for Vincent Blumenthal because he started way back in the field also, man. And 16 spots back, he started 34th. Good night for Vince. Justin Weaver, 19th in the Moby Dickies, IR18. Woody. Not Wood. Woody Mahan, 20th.
Then down in 21st is Pierre Nidendagla, Brian Not Easy being Greenlee. I just hate to do this. In 23rd position, it's the man who just dominated the race, Dandy Dan Guerin. He got caught up in that last lap melee, Sean, and he's going to come home in 23rd. James Grahula, 24th. Chris Stouffer behind him at the quarter-century mark. Rory Collins, Robert Bluen, Scott Johnson, David Cordy, Mitchell Moeller, Jack Bogan, our own Samuel Ryman back there in 32nd. Sean, why don't you take the last ones here from Isaiah Dupree in 33rd?
All right, Isaiah Dupree, the Carolina driver, 33rd. Ken Hack, 34th. 35th, got to go to Brian Beard. Tony Showen. Boy, I'll tell you what, tough end of this race for him. He was up front most of the night. He'll finish 31st. George Anzaldo. Man, our heart goes out to you, dude. But it's going to be 37th for him tonight. Michael Gray, the Racing Kangaroo, will finish 38th. 39th, going to go to Michel DeJong. Bob Mike is 40th. He had tough luck also. Ian Adams, 41st. Dylan McKenna, 42nd. And Jesse Vincent did not run this race. He was in race control for the evening.
Sean, I'm going to steal our race winner over to you, Andrew Havaketch Kinsella, because after that it's Jason Galvin, and he's a much easier interview. So why don't you go ahead and take Kinsella?
Okay. Andrew, congratulations. Number 2 on the season. I said it earlier, you're not battling for Rookie of the Year anymore. You're in the thick of this championship battle early on. Congratulations. What was the key tonight here at Kentucky?
Honestly, I think the key was just to stay out front, up near the front of the field. It allowed me to sort of stay out of the craziness that I knew would happen, especially as the tires fell off. So my goal was to put in a good qualifying effort and get to the front as quickly as possible. And I mean, Dan just pipped me for my first ever pole, but I mean, this race, I can't say enough about Mark for putting this one on, because I've lost both my grandmothers in the last 6 months. So to win this particular race, it just means so much to me right now.
Yeah, and this race, a real tribute to real tribute to grandmothers everywhere. And listen, everybody loves their grandma. And sorry that you've lost yours, both of them, so recently. And yeah, what a great reason to have this race tonight. But Andrew, boy, big points haul for you tonight. This was an important race. I mean, it is early on, but that is a pretty decent strategy, right? Rack up as many of these as early as you can.
I mean, I learned from Jake last year, you can never have too few wins trying to go for a championship, right? So, absolutely, I definitely think that this is putting us in a very good spot for the championship. But it's a long season, and we got to keep this going for the whole thing. As you've seen year in, year out, this is one of the toughest leagues to win in on a consistent basis. So to get to this quickly in the season versus all of the guys out there. Dan drove a heck of a race. Tony was up there. I hate that he got wrecked out there. He was fixing for a really good finish as well. Man, it's a pleasure to race with these guys, and hats off to everyone for putting on a great show tonight.
Well, listen, I know you guys put in a lot of work, a lot of practice hours spent by a majority of the members, and it shows. Just another great race here tonight at Kentucky. These have all been good ones at Kentucky. Last season, we only had 4 cautions. Soup, did we eclipse that tonight, or was it 3 or 4 we had tonight? I think it was 3.
We came real close. We might have broke the record today.
I think it might have only been 3 now thinking back on that. But Andrew, thanks for leading the way and giving us something really exciting to watch tonight here in the OMA 200. We appreciate your time, and I'm sure we'll see you back here in the booth again real soon.
Thanks, Sean.
Andrew Kinsella, our winner. Next up is the man who is in second, Jason Galvin. If this would have been called the OMA 201.5 at Kentucky, you might have got the win.
Jason having trouble navigating his technology there.
I've never heard Jason. I've never heard him. Yeah, never heard him speechless before.
No, okay. Can you not hear me?
We got you now, buddy.
Oh, you know why? It's because I wasn't clicked in Discord. I'm still figuring Discord out. I got it. Yeah, no, there's no question. Joe and I think Joe's going to be just as disappointed with third as I am with second. We feel like we kind of got robbed there. The delay in the yellow because the lapped cars didn't get to the back quick enough. And we can call a spade, but that's what happened.
Right.
People race control is telling them to go and they're not going. And the yellow got delayed by the sim. That wasn't even a race control decision. They were good to go. They were going to clear the black flags, and the sim delayed it. And that was the lap. And I knew it. I got on the radio. I told Joe and Pierre, who was right behind me with fresh tires, that I said that's going to cost us this race. Watch. And the second I cleared Dan, I knew it because I was too far back from Andrew, and he had clean air. So it's not like I was going to blow by him like I was everybody else. I knew I was going to have to catch him. And I got there. I got to where I needed to be off of 2 on the last lap, but I was like 8/10 back, and I just knew there was no way. The draft was good, but 3 and 4 was not wide enough with the groove to be able to roll it that well. If this track was flipped and I caught his draft off of 4 and had 1 and 2 as wide as it was, maybe you get a photo finish. It would have been really exciting. But I just knew the way that 3 and 4 was rolling, that you had to pinch the corner too much, even in the upper groove, that I wasn't going to get the run off and make it close enough. One more lap, I don't think there's any question, because I could have rolled 1 and 2 wide open. Any lane that he went to, I could have gone somewhere else, caught him down the back straight, and we would have gone into 3 and 4, and it wouldn't have mattered where I was at. I don't think high or low, I would have been able to roll him. So I'm about as disappointed as I've ever been with a second place finish, considering that I ran around in 8th and 9th all night. I guess I can't be too mad because it was an excellent points night. I think we lost a spot in the standings because Brian rallied, but it's kind of cool to see Brian, Andrew, and I having all kind of checked out on everybody here early in the year, and to have, like my worst finish is 6th and I'm 3rd in points. So that tells you something about, I guess, how good the 3 of us have kind of been. And I feel lucky and blessed that I'm in that situation right now, but I'm yeah, I'd be lying if I wasn't a little frustrated.
That was a tough one. The delay cost you. Well, congratulations on second. Nevertheless, good luck the rest of the way.
Soup, thank you. I got to thank everybody, No Name Racing. They've been great. Joe and Pierre and James, to be able to join this team has been incredible. And it was their help this week. That guy was the 4th best driver on the team this week and somehow finished second. And it was all because of them. Global Electronic Technology and Thumbs Up Cancer Down and everybody that supports the league, GSRC and First Medical and HPP. We appreciate that as well. Thanks, guys.
Jason Galvin, your second place finisher today. And boy, he made a good point about, we saw the traffic, and I knew that was going to play a factor. I was thinking it was going to be a factor between Kinsella and Guerin as a cushion, but what it ended up being is it extended that yellow flag and didn't give the guys with the fresh record enough time to get there. Okay, we have Joe Hassler. Who's going to talk to Joe? Sean, do you know who's going to be?
Richie's got him.
Okay.
Big Joe, this is Richie Hearn. You got me?
Hey, Richie. I just want to say, Sean, you have no faith.
Big Joe, we were watching you early on. You were challenging for the lead, and then you had a little bit of a fade there in the middle. What was going on there?
Oh, I crushed my tires. I thought I was gonna be able to save enough, like kind of riding side by side, but lap 14, boom, done, and then I was in traffic the rest of the night. So it was kind of made my own bed. Usually I can make those up in pit stops, but the competition is just getting harder and harder every year. So it's kind of knowing that advantage a little bit.
Passing did look tough out there, though. Was it really tough to kind of get runs on people?
Yeah, after a while, you start to get – the draft is right about a second, I think, when you look at your relative. And it's like you're at no draft, and you can put your car anywhere, or it's boom, 100%, and you're fighting to keep it out of the wall, and you just got to kind of fish for clean air. So it really strung us out.
Yeah, well, a couple of you guys took tires at the end there, you and Jason, and I said, well, I don't think it's going to make much difference, but you really proved me wrong, and I guess there was a delayed yellow flag, and maybe it cost you maybe second or even the win there.
Yeah, it's difficult. You know, you can't help what other guys are doing. I don't know what happened in the back. Obviously, I'm not happy about it, but I guess, you know, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. So hopefully the admins can look at it and talk to the people involved, and I guess that's all you can hope for.
Well, just congratulations on the podium finish there, because, like I said, you kind of faded off in the middle, and really all that matters is where you finish there. Is there anybody you'd like to thank?
I just want to thank my teammates, Mosaic, my employer. They're kind of my life sponsor. They give me the money to be able to do this, so I threw them on my car this year. So, yeah, I appreciate everybody.
Right on. Well, like I said, really good job out there.
Thank you.
Joe Hassard, nice job. His life sponsor, I like that one. We all need one of those.
I was just thinking the same thing. Man, we all need a life sponsor.
Let's go ahead and thank the people that made this possible. How about everybody at we don't talk about these guys enough. They've been around for a long time on the Lionheart. First Medical Equipment. They are the series sponsor for season 6. They've been the source of medical supplies and equipment in Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in product quality and customer service. Sean?
I still can't get this out of my head. Butt kicker products add an instant immersion to any game, Soup. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air, Butt Kicker products move actual mass, producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. Butt Kicker products add that missing driver-to-car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your sessions. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. And folks, be sure to use promo code LION20. That's right, LION20 to get 20% off your order. Check out the full array of their products again at thebuttkicker.com.
Remember the new Richie Hearn setting coming soon. HPP simulations. And when it is time to go sim racing, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulations, designed and manufactured. You know what? I'm going to go up to the other plug we didn't get in for the yellow flag because this one's better. So let's go up here. Let's talk about HPP. And we're going to talk about HPP is awarding a Formula Racing wheel valued at just under $1,500 to the season champion. It has SLL Pro display, 12-position rotary for display, monetary push buttons, two-way toggle switches, rotary encoders and tactile feedback, integrated paddle shifters, and a Hewlett-Packard 5710A dual-column gas chronometer with flame analysis detectors. HPP hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. Visit hppsimulation.com to check it out. HPP, designed to go fast, built to last. That was a better advertisement than the one we were going to read. Sean, you got the next one, or is it still me?
Soup, to contact any of the sponsors you see on the screen right now, you can go to LionheartRacingSeries.com. Click on the 2018 sponsors, and you can read or scroll the bottom where you can click on that company logo. Folks, if you want to see any of those sponsors right now, you can just look at our YouTube description down there. We've got all the sponsors listed, hyperlinked and everything for you. We made it easy.
On the screen now are some of the companies, equipment, and software that made this broadcast possible. The iconic music that lets your ears alert your eyes. You're watching a GSRC's production comes courtesy of Eric Ecklum and Casey Lalonde. See the screen to how to contact each of them.
And Soup, before we get on the plug, I want to give a quick shout out to Oma's family, all of them. I want to thank them for tuning in tonight, sitting around the 80-inch big screen and checking us out. Soup, she's actually in a Hall of Fame, the Hackettstown Medical Center Foundation Senior Hall of Fame, for all that volunteer work she did. She was the head of the Hackettstown, New Jersey Pajama Program. That was a national organization that provided pajamas and books to children in need. The woman was amazing, and we are just honored to have been part of this broadcast with her tonight. But let me tell you now that the Lionheart IndyCar Series returns in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, folks. April 25th. For round 4 from the legendary Watkins Glen International Speedway. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us then. Now, sliding across your screen are some of the upcoming broadcasts, and we want you to check those out and mark them down on your calendar. You can also see those on YouTube. We have all of our upcoming broadcasts there. But if you'd like more information about the Global Sim Racing channel, including a complete list of our broadcasts, you can find them also at our website, globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on social media at GSR Channel as our Twitter handle, Facebook, Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram, GSRC_Graham. And while you're here, if you haven't done it yet, hit the subscribe button for us, please, before you check out and end your evening, Soup.
Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, Sean Crackers Ambrose, if there was any justice in the world, the man who should be the owner of Rookie of the Year at the Indy 500, Richie Hearn, our director, Amjad Yaman, and our camera artist, Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.